Okay. Oh, got you. I see you.
All right. What a day. What a day. The GOAT, Caitlin Clark, made her return to the basketball floor today. I showed y'all. We got some live clips. I'm going to show y'all some more. But the important part of this video, Caitlin Clark destroyed the WNBA, Nneka Ogwumike, Nafisa Collier, who tries to name drop her at her convenience to win people over, Brianna Stewart, the unrivaled co-founders, all these people that's a part of the board that's signing with Project B, and all of this stuff. Caitlin Clark called their asses out today. She said, stop playing games. We need to play.
We have been waiting quite some time to see Caitlin Clark play basketball. Not only take shots and shoot around, but actually go up against something that looks like competition in an actual, competitive environment. Not just shoot off a rack, not go 1v air, actually play.
This is not hype or exaggeration. The league's most recognizable figure stepped up to the microphone and directly confronted the forces threatening the 2026 season. Her message was firm, deliberate, and impossible to ignore. Caitlin Clark made it clear she wasn't there to dance around the issue or soften the truth. As league officials and union leadership continue aligning with outside ventures like Project B and Unrivaled, experimenting with side leagues and short-format play for minimal returns, Clark voiced what many players, fans, and analysts have quietly said for months. The distractions are growing, and the priorities are drifting. The focus, she argued, must return to the core product. Her stance was straightforward and unapologetic. This league does not need more side projects or fragmented commitments. It needs a strong, protected, and fully supported WNBA season. Full stop.
The crew has officially arrived for USA basketball camp in North Carolina. We got Caitlin Clark pulling up. We got Caitlin Clark and AB. We got Rickea Jackson, De'Arica Hamby, CC and AB.
This moment is no longer about bargaining tactics or strategic posturing. It is about the long-term direction of women's professional basketball. And the one player who consistently fills arenas and drives national attention just made it clear she is not willing to sit quietly while the league's future is put at risk. Let's walk through what happened and why it matters. The WNBA and the WNBPA have been locked in collective bargaining negotiations for months. What was once an October 30th deadline has now been pushed to January 9th, creating more than 4 additional months of uncertainty. During that time, fans, broadcasters, sponsors, and players have been left asking the same question: will there even be a 2026 season? This is where the situation becomes increasingly complicated. Several members of the WNBPA's executive board, who are tasked with negotiating on behalf of all players, are also financially tied to alternative basketball ventures. Notably, key figures involved in launching Unrivaled, a separate 3-on-3 league, are simultaneously sitting across the table from the WNBA in CBA talks. At minimum, that overlap raises serious questions about competing priorities. At worst, it creates the appearance of divided loyalties at a critical moment for the league. For months, fans waited for someone with real influence to address the issue directly. Not a spokesperson reading prepared statements. Not a carefully filtered press release. They were waiting for a player whose voice actually changes outcomes. That moment arrived when Caitlin Clark spoke publicly at USA basketball camp. Still working her way back from injury, Clark stepped to the microphone and delivered a message that immediately reshaped the conversation. She called this period the most important moment in WNBA history and emphasized that while players absolutely deserve to fight for better conditions, the league cannot afford to lose sight of its core mission, playing games for the fans who are finally showing up in record numbers. In plain terms, Clark made her position clear. She is focused on WNBA basketball. Not exhibition formats. Not side leagues. Not short-term alternatives. Her message was that growth comes from consistent, high-level competition, not from fragmenting the product during its most promising era. She went further, offering something rarely heard in high-stakes labor disputes: compromise. Clark suggested that instead of locking into a lengthy agreement, the league and union could pursue a shorter CBA, 3 years rather than 5, allowing both sides to revisit terms sooner once continued growth is proven. It was a pragmatic approach rooted in long-term thinking rather than immediate leverage. That perspective stands out given the league's current momentum. The WNBA just completed its most successful season on record. Television ratings surged. Attendance numbers climbed. A reported $2.2 billion media rights deal underscored growing market confidence. Expansion franchises are reportedly valued in the hundreds of millions. Against that backdrop, the possibility of losing a season feels especially consequential. The league's current proposal includes a significantly higher salary cap, increased maximum contracts, revenue-sharing mechanisms tied to growth, and annual raises. The union, however, has argued that the percentage of revenue allocated to players remains too low and has raised concerns about housing benefits and training camp schedules. Those are legitimate issues, but the scale of the response has prompted debate about proportionality and priorities. Clark's comments cut through that noise. She pointed out a fundamental reality: revenue follows games. Markets grow when fans are engaged. And fans engage when the product is visible, consistent, and competitive. Without a season, none of the numbers matter. There is also an unspoken dynamic at play. Delays in the WNBA calendar inevitably create space for alternative leagues to gain attention. Whether intentional or not, prolonged uncertainty benefits outside ventures competing for viewers, sponsors, and relevance. Clark did not accuse anyone directly, but her remarks made it clear she believes the league's best interests must come first. The response was immediate. Fans reacted across social media, praising her clarity and leadership. Analysts took note of the shift in tone. For the first time, the narrative was no longer owners versus players. It became a conversation about internal alignment and accountability. What makes Clark's position especially significant is what she stands to lose or gain. She has options beyond the WNBA. International play, endorsements, and media opportunities are all available to her. Yet she is publicly advocating for the league to move forward, not away from the table. That choice signals commitment, not convenience. She is also speaking for players without her platform. A cancelled or delayed season disproportionately affects role players and those on the margins of rosters. Clark acknowledged that reality implicitly by emphasizing the need to play, not just for stars, but for the league as a whole. Her intervention now places pressure squarely on the union's leadership. Continuing to delay negotiations after the league's most visible figure calls for resolution risks alienating fans and weakening public support. At the same time, reaching a deal will require explaining why compromise became acceptable now. Either way, the dynamic has changed. Clark didn't escalate tensions. She lowered the temperature and raised the stakes. By focusing on fans, sustainability, and long-term growth, she reframed the debate around what truly keeps a professional league alive. This is an inflection point. The WNBA can either build on unprecedented momentum or allow internal divisions to stall progress. Caitlin Clark made it clear where she stands. She wants to play. She wants the league to thrive. And she wants this moment protected, not squandered. Now the question is whether the decision-makers listening will act accordingly, or whether this opportunity will slip away despite every warning sign being plainly visible.